Today on the channel, we get into it with the Legends of Pro Wrestling FTC Figures Toy Company Jim Cornette Variant Edition.
The spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another wrestling figure unboxing and review. As today from FTC, the figure toy company, we've got Jim Cornette Variant Edition. But for all your other wrestling figure needs of Mattel and Jazzwares variety, hit up Ringside Collectibles. Use discount code KYLE to save 10%. So today, we finally open up an FTC figure on the channel. I don't think we have ever done this in the 2 years of the channel that we've been around here. Now, this isn't my first go around the sun with FTC, as I do have many of figures that predate the channel. I would have unboxed them if I would have had a channel back then, but I did not. So I do have some of those, and I gotta say, like most people's opinion of FTC, I'm pretty much there with you guys. Some of the quality concerns, quality issues are really there. It really is a mixed bag, and there's only a few of them that I do recommend, and maybe we'll get into that in this video. But of course, we're going to do this video like we do all the other videos. We're going to take a look at the packaging, we're going to talk about it, we're going to unbox it, we're going to talk about it, we're going to see where it goes from there. Like I said, we're talking about Jim Cornette, one of the all-time great managers, a very, I don't know about troubled, but I guess a controversial person in the pro wrestling game, especially the last 10 years or so. What is time anymore? You either love him or you hate him. I love Jim Cornette just because he cracks me up with his stuff. I don't get offended hardly by anything. There's really nothing that's going to offend me. Maybe you're one of those people out there as well. Let the guy have his opinion, and guess what? If you don't like it, don't listen to his podcast. Don't listen to his YouTube show. Don't go to his website. That's kind of how I see things. Let him say whatever he wants. He's pretty out there. He's pretty crazy. And he does crack me up with some stories from time to time. But I know he doesn't like modern wrestling. And I think some of us longtime fans, we still enjoy wrestling. But it just doesn't have the same magic as it used to. And we all got our different reasons for what we like. Jim Cornette, just a lot more vocal about it than others. But that being said, this isn't a review about Jim Cornette. This is about this figure. So it'll be very interesting to see where this goes. Now, I will say, Jim Cornette, historically, as far as action figures go, severely misunderrepresented. He has not had enough figures bearing his career, how long he has been around. He should have had tons of figures. Jakks Class Superstars would have been a great place for him. We know Jakks TNA, Legends of the Ring line, he was supposed to be in there. Unfortunately, that figure was canceled. That would have been the best Jim Cornette figure of all time. Sorry to this one. That would have been the best. Would have loved to have seen a Mattel. I just don't see that in the cards anytime soon. I definitely don't see an AEW figure with him. So I just don't think there's a chance to get a Jim Cornette figure anytime soon, unless he happens to sign with old Power Town out there. And who knows, maybe we'll stay tuned to that one. But very interesting Jim Cornette personality. But like I said, very, very few action figures of him. And it seems like FTC is the one he has partnered with. As we do know, there is a new commentary edition. There's a bloody variant one, which FTC does like to do the bloody variants. And I do have the original one, and we'll compare that one here later in the video. So let's get down to it. Let's look at the packaging on this one first. We've done enough chit-chat. But we got that definitely, I don't know about iconic, but as far as FTC figures are concerned, it is iconic. We always know it. They are always locked down with the zip tie, which is very interesting. And the funny thing is, you can go to FTC's website to buy their stuff. You can buy these zip ties. So technically, you could cut this to open it up, buy those zip ties, and make it mint on card again. I don't know if I like that as far as mint on card collectors go. Luckily, I don't have to worry about that. I am opening this up. But you will cut that off, and I'll do that right now. Goodbye. So we cut that zip tie. Off to the races. See you later. There it goes. So that is zip tie. That is known by the FTC figures. They all have that. But they do have a nice clamshell to it. You don't have to worry about these getting damaged because it's almost in a protective case is what it is in, instead of like a box packaging, things like that. So that is kind of nice. You can open this. You can put it back in if you want to. So packaging-wise, not a bad gig right here. Not a bad deal. I can't dog on FTC's packaging, as it is pretty nice. I do like the uniformity of it as well. You get the Legends kind of carded background. It is a nice carded back here. You get Jim Cornette, a little glamour shot. 8 and up, Jim Cornette's name, Legends of Professional Wrestling, limited edition variant. And then, of course, you get the big box for the figure here, Figures Toy Company. And then Wrestling Superstore, I think, is where you can buy a lot of their stuff. I don't like that logo there. It's just not a logo for me. It just looks a little bit too photoshopped or too Microsoft Paint back in the 90s. I think an updated logo would go good, but what do I know? But there's that. Nothing on the sides, of course. But then you get to the back and you get all kinds of cross-sells. We're cross-selling like crazy, but not really because they're not showing images of the figures. These are just guys that are in the line and gals. I see Francine right there, and you can see they misspelled her name, unfortunately. So the quality control, not the greatest on these, as we do got a misspell right there. Like I said, I do have Jim Cornette's figure. Here's some of the ones I do own. Mikey Whipwreck, I do have that one. I like that figure. We got New Jack. I had to get that New Jack because that's the only New Jack figure in this kind of scale we're ever going to get. Blue Meanie, have Blue Meanie. I'm a big BWO fan, so I had to pick that one up. I do have PJ Polacco, a.k.a. Just Incredible. I do have that one for my ECW shelf. I have my Jakks Figure Toy Company and my Jakks Ruthless Aggression figures that were ECW guys all together on a shelf, as you guys maybe have seen in the past. Shane Douglas, I have that one as well. Francine, I kind of want to get, but I have not pulled the trigger. Candido, Jerry Lynn, Conan, Juventud, haven't pulled the trigger on any of those. There is the Demon on here, of course, the Kiss Demon, and that is probably the best FTC figure ever. As what I've seen out of FTC figures, face-painted ones do look the best. They do translate the best to this style, and the Demon, a big jacked-up dude, looks really good, soft goods cape. I really recommend that Demon figure. And then there's tons of other Rising Stars, Ring of Honor guys. Search them out if you're looking for some of these. Your mileage may vary. Which ones are good, which ones are not. We do see staining occasionally, of course, as some of us have talked about in the past. All right, we'll get Jim Cornette out, and it just folds out like this. Nice protector here. Like I said, nice cardboard. Nice thick stock cardboard right there. And then you got Jim Cornette right here, and he is locked into the plastic prison. He's got twist ties holding him down. So you put that twist tie through. I guess I could have cut it, but I'll just pull it through. Why not? Why not? We'll pull it through. Same thing on the bottom. We got twist ties on each leg, so they don't want their figures going anywhere, which I can appreciate, especially for you mid-on-card guys. You don't want them jumping out at you, doing anything like that. So we do have this, and there's the final twist tie, and we're off to the races with Jim Cornette. And then we do get a baggie here. Let's grab all this. Put that back in, off to the races, seal it back up, and we're going to give it the old see you later off to the side. So there it is. Now, first thing I see here, and much like the original version of Jim Cornette, we do get glasses for Jim Cornette. Very, very strange, as we always talk accessories first. You guys know, see you later. There it goes. We do get glasses here, and these are okay glasses. They look fine. We'll see how well they fit, as that has historically been an issue, but it is fine glasses. They just look like glasses, a little yellow. It is glasses. But when you think of Jim Cornette, what do you think of as far as accessories? Maybe glasses, yeah, maybe glasses, but you also think of the tennis racket. So we do not have a tennis racket here for Jim Cornette, which I find to be a huge, huge miss. It just doesn't work for me. Just doesn't work for me. I don't know how his most iconic accessory could be missing from this. You put this tennis racket in this guy's hand, everybody knows Jim Cornette. Without it, it looks like a guy in a suit. Really, I mean, you could say, oh yeah, it looks like Jim Cornette, but it's not perfect by any means. Now, this is the variant edition Jim Cornette, I should mention. This was released for the holidays a couple of years ago. It was kind of a holiday thing, the green and red, as you can imagine. But Jim Cornette wore stuff like that back in the day. Holiday or not, he wore that. Got right here, we got the other Jim Cornette figure. I'll put that in easy comparison right here. You get the yellow and red. He has sunglasses, or not sunglasses, just regular glasses. Exact same pair, it looks like, to those. Now, one issue we've always had with these, the glasses do not stay on his head. That is just absolutely ridiculous. There's no way to keep these on. It just doesn't look right either. If you move just a little bit, they will fall off. But as of right now, these are sticking on pretty good. But it does look a little strange. They don't fit as good as you would like them to. But as I'm kind of surprised right here, they are staying on, where I could not get them to stay on this one. But I'm going to take these off for the review as we're going to walk through it here. Now, a lot of flack, and we're just kind of giving an all-around FTC talk here. A lot of flack about FTC figures as they merge the Jakks Ruthless Aggression style and the Deluxe into one figure. Pick a lane is what I would say. Be Ruthless Aggression preferably, or be Deluxe Aggression. Don't mix and match the body parts, and that's part of why their figures look so out of proportion most of the time. Now, one big issue with this Jim Cornette, and even more with this one I'm seeing, is this bobblehead. Look at that. The head doesn't even fit on there very well. It's all over the place. Just a big bobblehead. He's looking down. Just not good. Just not good at all as far as bobblehead goes. I will say the likeness, though, is okay. I mean, it looks like Jim Cornette enough to be dangerous. I don't know if I could tell you if I pop this head off, yes, this is Jim Cornette, but it's fairly close. So I will say it's fairly close. We talked about the color patterns here. It's a guy in a suit, very similar to the Jack's Ruthless Aggression days of the suit. I will just say, though, the body just is very loose throughout. The head is loose. The arms aren't as tight as you would like them to be. Waist is fairly tight. Knees are tight enough. But it just feels unfinished. And it almost feels a little bit 3D printed. Like the coat, it kind of has that 3D printed feel to me a little bit. I know it's not, but it feels that way. A couple big eyesores with this figure. You get the pins, the white pins against the red. They really do stand out. Wish they could have used red pins in these. Paint the pins. You'll be really good. But as far as articulation goes, not a ton of bells and whistles here. The head, of course, moves around like a bobblehead. You do get the waist. You get single jointed elbows. You do get the bicep cut. You do get hands that side to side, but they are not removable. You do get single jointed knees, and you do get just really non-existent on the ankles. So not a ton of articulation, but that being said, Jim Cornette is not Spider-Man in a wrestling federation. He stands on the outside of the ring. He might swing a tennis racket from time to time. You don't need a ton of articulation out of him. But one thing I bought this original Jim Cornette for, though, was to put him with Jack's Classic Superstars Midnight Express. Of course, Midnight Express, one of the greatest tag teams of all time. And, of course, Classic Superstars brought us them. They brought us Sweet Stan Lane. They brought us beautiful Bobby Eaton. And so you can kind of see how they scale together. Now, Jim Cornette isn't as small like a Jimmy Hart or a Mr. Fuji. We always do get the That's So Jack's moments, of course, where guys are way taller and scales all over the place. But this Jim Cornette can smoke and mirrors in with these guys. Now, this one, I do prefer this one with this Midnight Express. Not sure where I'll display this one, but it looks good enough to be dangerous, and I think anybody that has this Midnight Express loose, you owe it to yourself to pick up one of these Jim Cornettes to put with your Midnight Express to really finish off the set. It does look a heck of a lot better with these. I have to admit that. But unfortunately, the tennis racket is the big miss. I know some people have went back and got the old Bone Cruncher Jim Cornette from way back in the day and put that tennis racket in there. That is doable. I'm sure there's like a Barbie tennis racket or something that somebody could track down. I should investigate that a little bit more because he is really missing without his tennis racket. And that's my biggest gripe with this figure. Jim Cornette doesn't have to be perfect. Like I said, he's not a wrestler. You don't need tons of articulation with him. You just need a good quality figure. And with the mix of parts here, the paint being a little bit off, the bobbleheadness of it, it's by no means a perfect figure. But if you're only picking up a handful of FTCs, I do feel this Jim Cornette has to be one of the ones you pick up. I cross my fingers for a day we can get a Mattel Elite or somehow a Jazzwares one or even a Power Town if that comes to fruition. I would be okay for that with Jim Cornette. But for what we have, and for finding somebody to display with the Midnight Express, this is really the best we're going to do at this point in time as I'm filming this video. So this is what I'll do. I'll have them continue to be with the Midnight Express. Of course, Sweet Stan Lane. A lot of people are Dennis Condrey guys. I'm Sweet Stan guy. I think it's where you grew up and where you came into the Midnight Express. I came into them in WCW, late NWA, early WCW when Stan Lane was there. I missed a lot of the Dennis Condrey years. Of course, I saw a lot back in video and stuff, but Sweet Stan was my first impression. I didn't know who Dennis Condrey was, but I can see people older than me, and maybe some other people really do prefer the Dennis Condrey edition, or maybe even other editions out there. Who knows? Maybe you like the new Midnight Express, Bob Holly and Bart Gunn. Probably not, but still very cool. The Classic Superstar set's amazing, and like I said, you need a Jim Cornette to go with it. I'd say pick your poison, get the bloody one, get the announcer one, do whatever you want, but I can recommend this, but just barely. This isn't going to set your world on fire. It's not. Don't expect Mattel Jazzwares quality, Super 7 quality with these. You got to kind of dumb it down a little bit, but for what it is, standing in the background with some Midnight Express figures, I think it is passable, and that's my final verdict. But what is your final verdict on this FTC Jim Cornette and FTC in general? Do you have a few FTCs in your collection? Are you like me, you have a few you dabbled with? Or are you a guy that's all in? I don't know if I've ever met that person, but if you're there, sound off in the comments down below and let me know your opinion on this figure in the FTC line as well. Of course, like this video. You made it this far, you might as well. Subscribe to the channel, turn on the old notification bell, and then follow along on social media at SirPaul64 on Twitter, Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson, and then, of course, ProWrestlingTees.com, search Kyle Peterson, and Patreon, where you can get this video, many other videos much, much earlier, and best of all, you do support the channel. So for a little FTC and a little Jim Cornette, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.